It should be no surprise to anyone that with the game being well over 10 years old, keeping a player base interested is going to be increasingly difficult. In the case of GTA Online, Rockstar has a lot of content in the game already which they can do a lot with, but simply choose not to do so. With the drip feed of the latest DLC being once again a little underwhelming, and basically every bit of drip feed has already been dumped into the game during Christmas, it kind of remains to be seen what the future is going to hold for the game. With the recent announcement of Rockstar dropping support for the Rockstar editor on the PS4 and Xbox One systems, it kind of shows us that there is still more DLC on the horizon. The first thought, of course, going to be is that if there is going to be a DLC on February 20th, considering the fact that the DLC typically tends to launch on Tuesday. This is obviously just weird speculation, and I personally don't really think that it's going to be a thing, but you never know. Rockstar is kind of in this position right now where they don't really seem to be doing a whole lot about the game because they're so hyper-focused about GTA 6, which many could argue is obviously a good thing because the more time and resources being spent on that, the better. Because everyone would much rather have GTA 6 launching 6 months earlier than getting bigger and better DLCs in GTA Online. Let's be realistic here. Now obviously that also means that something like a PS4 and an Xbox One version could remain to stay kind of in the loop when it comes to GTA Online content, and because the Rockstar editor is being removed for performance reasons, you can kind of expect that they are definitely planning to keep pushing more updates on those two platforms. Also meaning that there is definitely more DLC coming during this year and until GTA 6 comes out, because key people within the franchise use GTA Online to basically go, hey guys, if you want to have exclusive stuff in GTA 6 or start utilizing that to promote the next game, it all makes sense, thus you need to keep those people around. But it also does mean that you want to keep those people around long enough and keep them interested enough to even do stuff within the game and keep playing it. Currently, that is going down the same direction as we have seen multiple times before, with event weeks taking an absolute nosedive into what exactly is being done, double cash, discounts, etc. Because as the week since went on again after the big DLC launch, there's very little to nothing double cash in RP, very little to nothing on discount, and you really have to wonder why. Because if there's one thing that kind of keeps the GTA Online player base engaged and gives them a reason to hop on during the week, is two things. Either it's new content, which, let's be honest, there really isn't going to be any new content for the foreseeable future, and the only thing that seems to be remotely interesting in the next weeks or months is going to be that Clock and Bell raid, and of course the Gauntlet Interceptor, which everyone is very excited about. But aside from that, there isn't really a whole lot on the horizon. And then there's of course the event weeks. Now the event weeks is going to be the predominant draw to people playing the game, because you guessed it, that is where people hop on for. They hop on every week to see, oh, there's a cool car on discount, or oh, there's something really interesting on double cash NRP. But that's not the case. If you look at the past 2 weeks of the event week, you see that the Salvage Shard this week has double rewards for your daily income. Last week, it was the tow jobs. Now, these two being separate from each other doesn't really make all that much sense in my humble opinion. Why not combine the two? Or if you're doing them separately, at the very least have other things in the game still be interesting enough or double cash enough for people to go like, oh hey, I can do some tow jobs and then go do something else. Because I don't think there's anyone who's going to really sit there and do some double cash adversary modes. We haven't seen anything triple for adversary modes in the longest time, let alone 4 times money. Because they increase the amount of money that you made with the adversary modes, and then they just decided to stop doing triple cash or quad cash on it because they are afraid that it might earn you too much money. Newsflash, the payouts for those are still not great. Like, there is so many more things that they could do double cash. Give us more of a variety of things that are double cash. I've said this a billion times already, and I'm definitely repeating myself here, but I feel that it's important to highlight it again, because once again, Rockstar is doing the exact same thing that they always do, with the DLC not being anywhere near, or kind of like losing interest in themselves, or whatever it is, but the event weeks have to continue to be interesting and give people a reason to be engaged with the game. because if they're not, you're just gonna lose players. And I think Rockstar in many ways is kind of comfortable with the position that they're in, because they're like, well, we'll release a DLC, a bunch of people will play it again, you know, will become the best thing they've ever released, etc, etc. And even if they don't come back to GTA Online, when we release GTA 6, we're gonna be fine. But I think for the player base itself, it's just kind of a bit of a... what's the word I'm looking for? It's just annoying, really. That's what it comes down to. It's just annoying to look at an event week and think, this is the most underwhelming thing I've ever seen. Why is this even a thing? Why would I even bother to log in for this? And that's kind of the reason why the robbery contracts can only be done once a week, because that way people actually have a reason to hop on every week. But the only reason why I do them is because of career challenges, because I don't think there's anyone in their right mind going to replay these every single week for the sole reason that they get to play it again. Obviously, you can make about $1 million with them in a 1.5 hour if you are knowing what you're doing, but really, that kind of money? I don't really think so. I don't particularly want to make it only about money either, because obviously double cash and RP, or just bonus money in general, tends to make people check out the game mode again for the longest time. There are so many things that they could do with it. Death matches have not been double cash or triple cash in the longest time, and the list really goes on. Highlight some of the more unique and interesting game modes within the game, bring back some old favorites from adversary modes or anything like that, and just give us a variety of interesting things to do and things that people might not really think about doing, and you know, maybe want to give it another try again. Like, just reuse that old content that is still in the game, underutilized, and give them a reason for people to play it again. If I recall correctly, a little while ago they did 50% more on vehicle cargo, and that's what I basically did for a while, because like, hey, I remember doing that. That was a lot of fun to do. Like, it doesn't always have to be a business, or it doesn't always have to be a heist, because that's generally speaking how people determine whether or not something is a good event week, which I always disagree with, because in my opinion, a good event week has a variety of things that everyone can decide to do and kind of just explore something different, you know, revisit something that we haven't done in a little while. Because, you know, having more money is nice, but unless you're a newer player, you don't really need it, really. Like, let's be honest about this, folks. You don't need another $100 million. You already have 50 million. You don't need more than 50 million. The next DLC is coming out in what, 5-6 months? You'll have plenty of time to play all the Cairo Ricos to your heart content, even without double cash or RP. But those are my thoughts. Of course, let me know yours in the comments below. Leave a like, subscribe, and become a member, like Chloe, GTA Plus, Notorious Jam, Dan, and the Crystal Onyx. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all later.